Well, time now for our special investigation, Operation Munna Bhai MBBS. Growing up in India, for most, the dream job for many Indians is to be a doctor. That's what most of our parents have seen us. An honorable, respectable profession spent saving lives and treating those in pain. Something that takes years of hard work and experience. But India Today's special investigation team has found a few colleges in the country that had been debarred from admitting students, but still offer them medical seats. The chance to become a doctor comes at a price and bear the responsibility of saving lives if they just paid a large amount. Take a look at the country's most honorable profession and how these men have turned it into an institution of systematic fraud. This is the India Today Special Investigation Team's Operation Munna Bhai.
Over 11 lakh candidates. Vying for 65,000 medical seats. Nearly 17 students chasing one seat. The stakes are high for students dreaming to be doctors one day and their parents. An MBBS admission is almost a matter of life and death. And they are willing to gamble all their life savings for one seat. This makes medical education a big business. Often rules are bent or broken, despite interference by the Supreme Court, despite a common national eligibility cum entrance test that ensures merit is the only basis of admissions. Many unrecognized colleges are using the confusion surrounding NEET to dupe unsuspecting parents. If you don't watch your step, you could end up paying lakhs for nothing. This letter dated May 31st, 2017, written by the Union Health Ministry to the Dean of the Krishna Mohan Medical College in Mathura, states the institution is debarred from admitting students for the academic year 2017-2018 and 2018 to 2019. The college has also forfeited 2 crore rupees it deposited as guarantee. India Today's special investigation team went to Krishna Mohan Medical College to find what's happening on the ground. This is Ajay Tomar, the man in charge of admissions. Our undercover reporters told him what we are looking for: a medical seat for a student who hasn't scored much in NEET.
आप कहाँ से हैं भाई? दिल्ली से। बच्चा कहाँ से है? दिल्ली में। देखो उसका नंबर तो आएगा। अभी आपने रजिस्ट्रेशन तो करा दिया होगा? ऑनलाइन रजिस्ट्रेशन होता है? हाँ वो चल रहा है, 2-3 महीने करा रहा है। तो सबसे बोला एक तो आपको करना है, जो मैंने बताया था ऑनलाइन किया होगा, वो भी है, वो आप लगा दीजिएगा साथ में NEET स्कोर बाद जो डॉक्यूमेंट्स या आपको सबमिट करने 5 लाख रुपये कैश जमा करना है और बुकिंग का सीट, और आफ्टर दैट चेक्स देने हैं आपको बच्चे फीस के पूरे। जब एडमिशन कंफर्म हो जाएगा फिर फुल PDC चेक्स और मुझे चाहिए।
Ajay Tomar also insists the rates are dynamic. It will change from day to day. The faster we make up our mind, the better.
विचार विमर्श करके अगले हफ्ते आते हैं, ठीक है?
अगले हफ्ते के अगले हफ्ते बताऊंगा आपको। ये तो आज की चीज़ बताइए मैंने। अगले हफ्ते कल की भी कल ही बताऊंगा, या तो डेली का रजिस्टर में बताऊंगा आपको। सीट्स के ऊपर डिपेंड है, सीट्स हुआ तो।
There you saw Krishna Mohan Medical College offering admissions even though it has been disbarred. Not just that, the college is also promising to fix NEET counselling. The college was debarred after it failed to meet certain standards that are mandatory. An inspection by a team of Medical Council of India found 86% deficiency of faculty. There was an 89% shortage of residents, and most shocking, the bed occupancy was 0. The team found no doctors in casualty and no patients. The college failed on many other parameters as well.
See, the admissions that these colleges take would be invalid, totally illegal admissions. So we have already put on our website that these colleges have been debarred for 2 years. They are not allowed to take admission for 2 years. Plus, we'll also be issuing an advisory shortly so that the general public is made aware that they should not take admission in such colleges. That would come out in the newspapers as well as on our website.
The rot runs deep. The MCI has disqualified 32 colleges for failing to meet basic parameters prescribed for quality medical education. The debarred colleges had challenged the ban in the Supreme Court. The court, in its order on Tuesday, has asked the central government to hear out the colleges one more time. But the bar stays. And until and unless the ban is lifted, the admissions are illegal. Special Investigation Team, India Today.
Now, the MCI on its part says that they have put it on their website that these colleges are disbarred and they cannot issue degrees. But ultimately, there are students who study in these colleges, take degrees and go outside these colleges to treat patients like you and I. I'm joined by Dr. K.K. Agarwal, President of the Indian Medical Association. We also have Aditi Anil Jain. She's in the studio with me. She's an educationist. I want to go across to Mr. Agarwal first, the president of IMA. And the question I want to ask you, sir, how is it that even though these colleges have been disbarred, is it enough by the MCI to just put it, does the responsibility somewhere down the line end by putting the fact that these colleges are illegal on their website? Because students are still taking admission, all at a price, a hefty price at that.
That's a cheating and a fraud by the management. It's a cheating and a fraud by the medical college who are doing that. And they do it with an idea that the students after 1 year will go to the court and on sympathetic basis they may get admission somewhere. But this is illegal and fraud has to be prevented, and action has to be taken against the fraud. And the very fact they have cancelled, the management is aware. And any willful action by the management, they are taking people knowing very well that the students are, they cannot take students. It's a fraud. And fraud has to be treated on the Indian Penal Code lines.
All
and
right.
The loophole is, they try to say is that nobody will come to know, and after 1 year students will file a mercy petition in the court and the court may grant them some concessions. But that's illegal is illegal, and action needs to be taken.
All right, so action needs to be taken. What kind of action would be taken? I'm going to come right back to you, Mr. Agarwal. Let me also bring in Aditi Anil Jain. She's an educationist. She's joining me in the studio. Aditi, the question is also, can something like that happen without the students knowing? Because in this day and age, every student who is applying for a medical college will know exactly the standing of that college, will know whether it's legal or not legal. So somewhere down the line, the students are also hand in glove in this fraud that is continuing. They're willing to pay the lakhs of rupees just to get that degree, and like Mr. Agarwal said, in a year, go approach the court, said, we had no idea, humko to pata hi nahi tha.
No, you do have a point, but I would still emphasize on a point that there would be some cases who might not be informed, who might be, but the bigger question over here is, how are these colleges running? How is any activity being done in a college which is barred by the Medical Association? And why is this kind of a news to make people aware? Why are they not taking out these news? I mean, we don't see these news coming that be very careful at the time of admissions. So this can be something, but when you say that, okay, you can apply to the courts, what about the year that you are messing around with? These initial years are very important, and especially medical line takes, it's a long process to be,
right.
An MBBS, then MS or MD or whatever. It's a long process, and it's so demoralizing at the very onset of studies. And in case our country is facing this kind, I mean, in today's day and age, What is the government doing in an era of globalization where everything is under computers? You can check, you don't have to be at the place. How is it that this is happening, and why serious actions are not taken against such activities? First of all, something like this should never even come into our perspective, but if it has to be very seriously taken. And another thing that I again want to emphasize is that medical association needs to be very, very answerable on this. They need to be careful.
Okay. All right. Aditi, we're going to come right back to you. What we will do right now is let's cut across to the Parliament. Sushma Swaraj, the External Affairs Minister, right now speaking on the standoff that the country has with China. Listen in. All right, we're going to go across back to the Parliament in a short while when Sushma Swaraj, the External Affairs Minister, starts speaking. But let's just come back to the debate on India Today. A special investigation, Operation Munna Bhai MBBS, to encapsulate what our special investigation team unveiled. Colleges across the country disbarred, where the Indian Medical Association is concerned, the IMC is concerned, but strangely still functioning, giving out seats for a hefty price of money. I want to bring in Mr. Agarwal. He is the president of the IMA. Dr. K.K. Agarwal, like you said, that something like this should not happen at all, but it happens with immunity. Is it okay for somewhere down the line for the Indian Medical Council to just put it on its website and say these colleges are disbarred? Is that where the responsibility ends?
No, the responsibility is the college has to inform. When the medical councils, if you are disqualifying a hospital, you are going to inform and put it on your website. That's the only thing MCI will do. I don't think so. There is a provision for putting an ad in the newspapers at all India level. Recently we had got one more complaint. Some students came to me and they said that they are facing the same situation. And the modus operandi was, they said that at the time of admission we were made to sign blank papers. And when they were made to sign blank papers, they were told these are related to ragging. And now the management is saying that we told you that your admission is illegal, subject to MCI recognition. So there are loopholes available. The students are being misrepresented, and students are put. They always tell to the students that that we have applied for, it is under consideration, and you will get a.
But Dr. Agarwal, is the student so naive? Absolutely has no idea what's going on, because that's not the question. A student who would be applying for a medical seat would have done his homework or her homework, would have done research. The very fact that they agreed to pay this hefty sum of money, they actually take admission in colleges which are disbarred, go on to suggest that somewhere down the line they are going to use this as a leverage tool and say, "Hame to pata hi nahi tha, we had no idea."
No, ऐसे cases के अंदर में we have no sympathy for such students who are a part and parcel of the conspiracy. There is no reason कि वो जाके कहें कि हम Supreme Court से mercy petition file कर देंगे. Fraud is a fraud, and there is no question of these people going ahead and taking extra seats in other medical colleges.
All right, we're going to continue talking about that, Mr. Agrawal. Do stay with us, because we're going to come. Well, the fact is that, like we showed you before the break, one college, Krishna Mohan College, is no exception. It isn't one isolated incident. India Today's special investigation team went to other colleges in Uttar Pradesh that are still taking money for seats after being debarred and told not to admit students for the next 2 years. Some of these middlemen flatly asked us for an amount as high as 80 lakh rupees with a small down payment of 10 lakh rupees. They assured us that they would ensure a seat in the debarred medical colleges, and the student will get a degree.
"32 medical colleges disbarred from taking students, but a few still turn a blind eye to the law and openly sell MBBS seats." The investigation to expose these debarred medical colleges took our undercover team to its next stop, Local Medical College Super Speciality Hospital and Research Center in Saharanpur. This institute claims to be a private university, and its website clearly announces admissions open. At the college we meet Junaid, the admission coordinator.
बीटेक। वजन आपको 12 लाख 20% मतलब 24 लाख 25 लाख के आसपास फर्स्ट ईयर। अच्छा, बाकी डिवाइड होता है। उसमें रिफंडेबल भी होता है क्या कुछ? रिफंडेबल भी होता है कुछ? नहीं, रिफंडेबल नहीं। एडमिशन MBBS में होगी ना हमारी? 77 है, 3 लाख डिपॉजिट है। अच्छा, तो रिफंडेबल है। और इसमें हॉस्टल चार्जेस वगैरह सब कुछ? हॉस्टल, फूडिंग, लॉजिंग, अदर एक्सपेंसेस आपके।
Junaid has another selling point. Local is a private university. It conducts its own test.
तो यूनिवर्सिटी के अंडर आता है मेडिकल कॉलेज। अच्छा, तो हमारा खुद का यूनिवर्सिटी है, कंडक्ट एग्जामिनेशन वगैरह सब आप करा सकते हैं। मेडिकल कॉलेज में एग्जाम यही एग्जाम होंगे, सारी यही होंगे सब कुछ। तो मतलब इसका ये भी हो जाएगा कि 5 साल में बच्चा पास भी कर जाएगा।
Junaid also offers to fix the counselling, a sure short way to circumvent NEET provisions.
काउंसलिंग तो हम कराएंगे बच्चे की, आपको मिलना है, फ़ोन आ जाएगा, आपको लखनऊ पहुँचना है, क्योंकि ये जो रैंक है इस रैंक का जो बच्चे का सीट अलाउट होगी वो लखनऊ में सीट अलाउट करा लेंगे। अब ऐसा तो नहीं होगा कि उस वक्त सीट नहीं अलाउट? हमें मिल रहा है ना, हमारा रिप्रेजेंटेटिव उधर होगा, हम आपको कॉन्टैक्ट नंबर वगैरह बच्चे को कॉन्टैक्ट करना है उससे।
Junaid then goes out to spell out the payment structure.
शाम को फोन पे बता देंगे कैश नहीं है,
तो अगर न तो कुछ अगर कैश हो जाए क्योंकि मैं बहुत कैश भी दे सकता हूँ। कितना दे सकते हैं? 10 लाख भी दे सकते हैं।
Our team asked Junaid if the college has all the needed clearances. He cleverly dodges the real picture without mentioning the disbarment by MCI.
आपके पास वो गवर्नमेंट की सारी वो है बॉडी है, लेकिन आज एक मसला है थोड़ा सा कोर्ट में। अच्छा, वो हो जाएगा आज, फिर 100%। अभी मैं आपको कॉल करूँगा क्योंकि इस बार 6 कॉलेज पूरे यूपी का डिबैर्ड है। MCI की साइट पर आप चेक करेंगे 410 नंबर पे लोकल मेडिकल कॉलेज। अच्छा, 410। अच्छा, ठीक है। बाकी आज हेयरिंग है उनकी, जो MCI ने डिबैर्ड की। अच्छा, तो उन्होंने कोर्ट में स्टे डाल के लिया है कि इस बार इंटेक सीटें हमें प्रोवाइड करनी।
Later, we confronted the principal and promoter of local medical college on camera. They flatly denied any registrations in the college.
डॉक्टर साहब, एक चीज़ बताएं कि आपके यहाँ यूनिवर्सिटी में क्या एडमिशन्स वगैरह किए जा रहे हैं या नहीं किए जा रहे हैं?
No sir, this year we are waiting for the court decision. Is pending till decision is out. So we have not started taking admission or distributing the admission form.
मेडिकल में कुछ ऐसे भी हैं जिनका अप्रूवल है आपके पास में?
मेडिकल में MBBS के लिए तो भी अप्रूवल है ही नहीं। मतलब पिछले साल तो बैच शुरू हुआ है, वो ऑलरेडी रनिंग है, तो वो बच्चे अभी सेकेंड ईयर में हैं, बट जो फर्स्ट ईयर का जो एडमिशन है वो अभी हम नहीं ले रहे हैं।
But their claims cut no ice. India Today's sting operation has proved beyond doubt what is happening away from the cameras. Non-existent medical seats being sold for a prize. Our next stop is the Venkateshwara Institute of Medical Sciences, another private university. Here, the college officials explain what the NEET norms for counselling are.
Guidance of the Supreme Court. इस बार जो प्रोसेस है वो प्रोसेस यही है कि आपको डायरेक्ट एडमिशन्स कोई भी कॉलेज डायरेक्ट एडमिशन नहीं देगा। स्टूडेंट हैज़ टू बी नीट क्वालिफाइड फर्स्ट थिंग, सेकंड थिंग ही और शी हैज़ टू बी सबमिटेड इनसाइड द काउंसलिंग, सेकंड द काउंसलिंग, आफ्टर दैट देयर विल बी द अलॉटमेंट। अभी तक अलॉटमेंट क्या होता था कि आप लोग फिजिकली हम लोग जाते थे, फिजिकली अलॉटमेंट्स होते थे, प्रेजेंस होती थी बच्चे की। अब की बार उन्होंने ऑनलाइन सिस्टम कर दिया।
Now Shakil explains what the college does to book seats and how the college manages the system.
We are registering the student over here. हम स्टूडेंट रजिस्टर कर रहे हैं यहाँ पर। We ensure that each student will get that particular option. अब वो ऑप्शन उसे कैसे मिलेगा? After completing the whole process, right? There is a one mop-up round जो होना है, ऑलरेडी शेड्यूल के अंदर है। मॉप-अप राउंड फाइनल कॉल्स होगी इसके अंदर, उसमें they will ask, they will say कि for 1 lakh to 5 lakh student come over here, do their allotment, get the allotment letter after finalizing the college. उसमें जो मेरा बच्चा होगा जिससे मैंने रजिस्ट्रेशन कर रखा है, मैं उसे डायरेक्टली लेके जाऊँगा अपने बच्चे को। जब मेरा रिप्रेजेंटेटिव ही वहाँ पे नहीं होगा तो कोई बच्चा मुझे ऑफ नहीं कर सकता। मैं जाऊँगा डायरेक्टली अपने बच्चे को लेके और उसको काउंसलिंग में ले जाके रजिस्टर करा के, उसकी काउंसलिंग करा के अलॉटमेंट लेके अपने यहाँ ले आऊँगा। ऑलरेडी मेरा और आपका सारा एग्रीमेंट तो पहले फाइनल हो चुका होगा, सीट आपकी सिक्योर होगी, यू विल गेट दैट फाइनल एडमिशन।
Medical colleges barred for 2 years, ignoring the government ban and toying with NEET guidelines mandated by the Supreme Court. Open defiance. It is as if the law doesn't count. For these colleges, there is nothing noble about the medical profession. It is pure business. It is up to authorities to call their bluff and make them realize that breaking the law will cost them heavily. With Mohammad Hizbul and Nitin Jain from the Special Investigation Team, India Today.
So the India Today investigation team has not just exposed an admission scam. This is fraud, which is a criminal offence. And Dr. K.K. Agrawal, president of the IMA, is with us. Dr. Agrawal, my question is, you know, the IMC, at one level you say cannot do anything other than just put out on their website that this college is disbarred. But can it not, on its own volition, of its own volition, lodge a criminal case against these colleges, because this is fraud, sir?
No, let me find out, I just find out two more things. That Medical Council of India has released an all India advertisement 2 weeks back, where they have clearly mentioned all the hospitals and the colleges which are debarred, and they have warned the students not to get admitted in this hospital and it gets cheated. So that's another thing which MCI has done. And we must remember that MCI is only a recommending body. It is not a recognizing body. As per the Supreme Court guidelines, if it is a central college, it is the center who gives the permission, and when it is in this case the state government is also involved. The state governments are going to, it cannot happen without the knowledge of the state government. It is the state government's responsibility that if these colleges are banned, they have to go and check and inspect and see to it that the fraud doesn't take place.
But Dr. Agrawal,
in the state, respective state,
right,
the state government's responsibility.
I understand. You're saying it's in respective state. It is the state government's responsibility. But why can't the MCI in this question raise criminal charges of its own volition? Why can't it do so?
I think they should do it. You can ask the Medical Council of India and approach them, and that it's a question of cheating with them also, on their name also, because on their name something has been done. The MCI can be approached and they should be able to file a case. Okay. I'm aware of MCI taking actions against fake faculties. When I was in the Ethics Committee of Medical Council of India, complaints were coming.
Right.
CBI were referring the cases to Medical Council of India.
Okay.
These are the cases where there is a fraud. CBI should take over, investigate, and if they send it to the Medical Council of India, Medical Council of India.
In. All right, Aditi, a very quick word before we've got breaking news coming in, but a very quick word, Aditi, because the student somewhere down the line does get shortchanged in the end.
Yes, here the government needs to take serious action immediately against these colleges which are barred. Second, the Medical Association should also write so that there is more, this request to the government to intervene immediately. And one humble request to all the parents, that if you are ready to pay bribe to make your award a doctor, I assure you sooner or later you are going to feel ashamed of this decision, because the place you are compromising with might not be giving you that kind of empowerment of being a doctor.
So basically action needs to be taken, and action which we can see, where we can see criminal charges being pressed against colleges like that. All right, we are getting in news right now that the state government has taken cognizance. All right, with that, let's move on in the bulletin. The mysterious hair chopping incidents that have spread to the national capital now. Several incidents coming to light mysteriously, where women's braids buns have been chopped off. It started off all the way in Rajasthan. Now it's reached even Delhi's Mayapuri, Kapashera area, as villagers remain baffled about such incidences. Fascinating, especially to the urban audience. As authorities investigate the matter, the hair chopping mystery only seems to have deepened. Take a look.
Women waking up to find their hair chopped. In the dead of the night, strange happenings, the women claim. It began in a village in Haryana, spread to UP, and now it's Delhi. Several incidents of women waking up to see their hair cut off have been reported in Delhi's Nangal area, Mayapuri and Kapashera areas.
आज तक ऐसी घटना हुई नहीं कभी मेरे आगे। ये आज पता नहीं क्या समस्या खड़ी होगी। मुझे तो जैसे ना जी किसी की हिम्मत यहाँ बढ़ जाए। समस्या मेरे आगे में बहुत गंभीर लग रही है।
Now rumors, superstitions are fueling fear in North India and reprisal. A 62-year-old woman, Man Devi, was beaten to death in Agra's Mutnai village. Villagers claimed she was a witch and had come to chop the hair of women in the village. She was murdered by a mob.
यहाँ थाने में पूरा बयान देकर गई थी कि मुझे निहाल सिंह के पूरे परिवार ने इतना पीटा है कि मेरे यानी कि शरीर पे जिलवाई नहीं हो रही है।
किसी तरीके से रास्ता भटक गई है, दूसरी गली में उधर पहुंच गई। उन लोगों ने क्या समझ के मारा, कैसे मारा, ये तो वही लोग बता पाएंगे, लेकिन हमारे यहाँ ऐसी चुटिया काटने की कोई घटना नहीं है।
घर वालों ने मतलब मार कुटाई करी, बघेल समाज की ने मार कुटाई करी। उन्होंने कहा कि हम तुमको भी जानते हैं और तुम हमें भी जानते हो, मैं कोई चुड़ैल बुड़ैल नहीं हूँ।
Mass hysteria has gripped other villages of Uttar Pradesh.
पहले तो चलती हुई थी कि हाथ जाती हुई, वहाँ के मतलब लंबे लंबे दांत है और चुटिया काटी है, पता परिणाम हुआ।
ये बात अभी किसी चैनल के माध्यम से संज्ञान में आई है और इसको मौके पर भेज करके जांच करवाई जा रही है। देखा जा रहा है कोई रूमर है, सच्चाई है, जो भी है, अगर सच्चाई है तो उसमें वैधानिक कार्रवाई, कड़ी कार्रवाई की जाएगी।
Authorities are baffled by the weird occurrences. They don't know where to begin their probe. Meanwhile, the fear spreads. Bureau Report, India Today.
All right, we're joined by my colleague Parbina. She's joining us from the national capital because this bizarre hair-cutting incident where a phantom barber is coming and cutting the hair of these women, which has reached to a hysteria level, is also now reached the national capital. Parbina is joining me from there. My colleague Anuj is joining me from Agra. That is where an unfortunate incident of a woman being lynched in the name of witchcraft. We also have Dr. Raheja, Deepak Raheja. He's a psychiatrist who's joining us from the national capital. I want to go across to Parbina first. Parbina, you know, this was an incident which started off. All right, we're going to come to you, Parbina, and all our guests. What we will do right now is we're going to cut across to Sushma Swaraj speaking in Parliament on the standoff with China.